Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
Hey guys, Adrian here for PPG with another locals gameplay video where we're gonna have Khalil once again with his branded deck, which has been running locals, versus Christian de la Fuente, also known as DeLa, playing Spright Melffy. We're gonna see who gets to win the Dyro here. It appears that Khalil won the Dyro, and he's gonna get us started with Fusion Deployment. Here he can reveal Granguinol or something to someone fallen off Albus, but it's going to be met with an Ash Blossom. He's going to proceed to normal summon the Aluber, which will be negated by Infinite Impermanence, and Khalil with no other extenders or Branded Fusion is going to pass the turn. DeLa is going to start by normal summoning Nimble Angler, and following that up by special summoning Spright Blue, which can search as Spright. He's going to search Spright Jet, which is going to search as Spright Spell Trap. Can be Double Cross, Smasher, Starter, Gamma Burst. He chooses to go for the starter to special summon Spright Red. This can help play around hand traps or even Nibiru if he chooses to go for a more extensive combo line. But if you open the Gamma Burst, this should be pretty close to game right here, if not game. We'll just have to see what he chooses to do, if he's going to go for an actual endboard or just try to go for the safe play. And it does appear that he opened the Gamma Burst, and we'll just have to do some math here. It does appear to be game, they're just double checking. And Khalil appears to be scooping it up. And yeah, that was a pretty quick game one. We'll just have to see if Khalil is going to make DeLa go first. However, realistically, the branded player should go first here since he can set up the puppet lock. Going into game 2, it appears that Khalil is gonna go first. He's looking for the branded with the puppet lock setup. We'll just have to see what he opens here. Does appear to have opened a full combo with that the gold sarcophagus that can send either the strategy or the Mercurial for some plays. Just have to see what he decides to start off with. He's gonna activate the branded regained and then follow that up with the gold sarcophagus. DeLa appears to not have any hand traps for it. Just have to see which target he chooses to banish, depending on his hand. It does appear he's looking at the Mercurial, and Mercurial is gonna trigger to let him search. In a couple turns that will be added back to hand. He's gonna search the Cartesia and to see what he chooses to do here. Brigane's gonna draw him a card by shuffling. He's gonna go for the Lubellion maybe. Yep, he's gonna go for that to send, or sorry, I believe that's Albion. The Fallen of Albus, and put that at the bottom of the deck and draw another card because of that effect. He's gonna proceed with Foolish Burial, sending Tragedy, which will add him Aluber. And he will proceed to summon the Cartesia. DeLa still appears to have no interruptions here. And normal summon the Aluber. The Aluber effect is gonna attempt to search. We'll have to see. DeLa appears to meet that Aluber effect with an Effect Veiler, chaining the Cartesia. It appears like, or he's thinking about it, in order to fuse. That Cartesia will also be met with an Effect Veiler. They're having 2 hand traps here. We'll have to see if he has the third one for the follow-up. Khalil appears to have a Duality in hand, which is also a really strong card right now. Fresh off the new set, Battles of Legends. And Khalil thinking about his plays here. As has been previously mentioned, Branded's kind of like an open-ended deck, so has to consider a lot of different scenarios and what he wants to end on into any specific matchup. He's going to go for Branded opening here, discarding Serenir. He can special summon, I guess, another... Oh, he can special summon Quem. Forgot about that new card-ish, too. For some plays on his opponent's turn. He's going to send Branded Retribution from the Serenir and the Branded Fusion. And then he's going to add it back with Retribution. It appears that he's going to negate the Retribution with the Ghost Bell, as it adds from graveyard to hand, and we'll have to see if Khalil has any more plays here. Considering some options here, depending on his hand, he can do some things with Duality on DeLa's turn, but it depends a lot on what he wants to do. If he wants to risk going for the puppet lock at all at this point, or even if he can. I'm not perfectly familiar with this deck, I guess you can say, so just have to see what he chooses to do. looking for some extra deck plays. He can fuse on DeLa's turn here with the Cartesia, and then like I said, try to tribute and go with some duality plays, just considering all the options here. Or it does appear that Khalil passed his turn, it looks like. DeLa's gonna start it off with a special summoning Kashtira Fenrir. Very, very strong card this format, very strong into this board too, because now if Khalil attempts to do any of the effects on resolution, he can banish it face down, which can hurt the deck a lot. Then he's gonna special summon the Serenir, and DeLa's gonna choose to activate the Fenrir effect. Considering it's Spright, it's probably gonna search another Fenrir, which he does, since it's just a free search at this point. We can search for some follow-up if his board gets broken, and also just a free discard into some plays. Have to see what DeLa open, if he's gonna be able to seal the game right here, just as he did last game with the Gamma Burst. He's considering some options. Just have to see what they end up doing. Shuffling each other's graveyard. Appears that Khalil is going to activate the effect of Cartesia to try to fuse. Can try to go into the Grand Wignall with the Serenir, or maybe even some other plays here. We'll just have to see what he chooses to do. Appears that he's fusing with the Aluber into... he can go into the, I guess, one of the Despia to try to negate the attack and prevent that OTK. But it's Khalil seems to be in a very rough spot, because now the Fenrir will proc, so whatever he summons will most likely get banished. He also has the Quem for some plays, but he's definitely not in the best spot here. Let's have to see how he chooses to play here, and try to play around whatever else DeLa may throw at him. In this case, he does decide to go for the Grand Wignall here, and I guess they're just choosing Chain Links here. DeLa appears to be activating the Fenrir, or I guess he's thinking about it, and we'll have to see if Khalil decides to do anything here. Just considering his options. He appears to be activating the Fenrir, targeting the Grand Wignall to banish it face down, and then Khalil appears to be activating the Quem effect, I believe. Not in, yeah, to summon the Fallen of Albus. Then to send, I believe, too. We'll have to see if he's gonna activate the Fallen of Albus effect to try to fuse by discarding a card too. So we're just making sure of Fenrir. Have to see what he tries to get here. Still not in the greatest spot, and we'll have to see what DeLa has in his hand too, and see how he can out or play into this board to try to seal the game. We can also see that Khalil is choosing to main or to side deck. There can only be one, which can be strong into the Spright matchup. We can definitely make for force into some awkward plays. It's very interesting. Sadly, he didn't draw it this game, so we'll have to see that card if it ever comes up. He appears to send the Bestial Lubellion, which obviously big beat stick and can serve for some follow-up. He's gonna activate the effect of Fallen of Albus, discarding the duality, using the Fenrir to go into Sprint, and I believe it can move to public cards in the column. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't read that card in a really long time, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to do, so it's going to serve an interruption in DeLa's turn. Just have to see if he can afford to play through it. We'll just have to see what DeLa has in his hand, as he hasn't committed any other cards but the Fenrir. He should have, I believe, other than the Fenrir, 2 more unknowns in his hand. Does appear to be infinite impermanence. He's gonna special summon the second Kashtira Fenrir, then normal summon the Spright Blue into Spright Sprint, which can send Angler to go into some level 2 plays by summoning the 2 Nimble Beavers. And Khalil doesn't appear to have any more interruptions here. He's gonna special summon the beavers, and then this can allow him to go into Spright or Gigantic Spright, which can lead him to any sort of plays. DeLa looking in a really good position here, as Khalil also appears to have no cards in hand and no significant amount of interruption, if any at all. DeLa just considering here his options, trying to figure out how to end the game here, and I guess they may be looking at life points in the combo, or trying to set that up just in case, as he will probably be swinging soon. He's going to overlay, it appears like, thinking if he wants to do with the beavers or the sprint. If he wants to use the monster zone, the extra monster zone, he would have to use the sprint, but he appears to be using the sprint with one of the beavers to go into Gigantic Spright. That would also make Gigantic Spright higher attack because it has a link as one of the materials. Still considering just reading the cards just to make sure, because at this point, if he has a way to end the game, you just gotta be careful and play through it calmly and controlled. He does appear to be committing to the Gigantic Spright with the link as a material, and have to see what he summons of that. Obviously Spright blue can be a really good option, since it'll get him to the most amount of bodies, and unless he's considering a different, like a Melffy line maybe, but that just seems not correct at this point. He is going to commit to the Spright blue, which will most likely get Spright Jet, which once again will probably commit him to the most amount of bodies. He appears to be overlaying here into if he goes into Mosquito, that means that he can go for the OTK with the counters, since they're all pretty small, and then Khalil would have to take the damage from the monster attacked with Mosquito. That appears to not do that though, and instead go for Spright Jet, adding the starter, and then activates the starter, and here he can summon either Spright Red or Carrot, would be ideal just to serve as a negate, but it appears that Khalil doesn't really have any more interruption, so at this point it would just be like I guess follow up in case something goes wrong, and just serves as an extra body. DeLa here is gonna then overlay into Mosquito, and believe he's just doing math here to see if he has game on board or not, which that smile, it does appear that he has, just doing some quick math here. Looks like he's going to battle phase and then swing with Mosquito. Gonna use the effect, the attach, to put a counter, and then everything swinging into it. Khalil will take the damage too, so believe that's game, depending on the math, but then he's gonna swing again, trigger, and then I believe that they're just like kind of checking if it's gonna be game and then doing the proper attack declarations. The Mosquito's gonna trigger, he'll take the damage, and then that'll be going on over and over. Looks like they're just doing the math to make sure that it's game, as he can swing with the red, the jet, and the gigantic still. They'll put him at 3000, and then the gigantic Spright swinging into the Serenier. Since he gained the attack, that's just swinging normally, and then to see what he's at here, he'll be at 500. So just still making sure, but that does appear to be game, and DeLa takes it with a quick 2-0, finishing game 1 in just under a couple minutes, and taking the second game also in one turn. Hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. As always, leave a comment on anything you want to see, or anything I can improve on this commentary. Make sure to check out our Patreon, where I'll be posting more in-depth videos on both deck profiles and I guess just Yu-Gi-Oh content in general. If you like any of the cards here or the decks in this video, make sure to check out the TCG Player affiliate link, and make sure to like and subscribe.